Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to look at another incidence rate calculation, this time looking at CHD, or coronary heart disease, instead of death. So our objective will be to calculate the incidence rate of CHD among smokers and non-smokers in STATA. So our first question is, why can we only calculate the incidence rate? In a previous demo, we were able to calculate both the cumulative incidence and the incidence rate. The reason why we can only calculate the incidence rate here is because we do not have complete follow-up on everyone in our cohort. So for example, someone may have died or dropped out of the study before they developed CHD. In a scenario where you do not have complete follow-up on everyone, it's better to use the incidence rate instead of the cumulative incidence. So let's go to STATA and see how we would calculate the incidence rate for CHD among smokers and non-smokers. Okay, now that we're all in STATA, we want to go back up to this Statistics tab. Then we're going to go down to Epidemiology and Related, and over to Tables for Epidemiologists. We're going to go to the Incidence Rate Ratio option because we're going to be calculating incidence rates. This window should pop up, and first it asks us for our case variable. For this demo, we're interested in looking at CHD, so we're going to select the variable any CHD. Our exposed variable is going to be whether or not someone was a current smoker at baseline. So we're going to hit the down arrow and scroll down to cur smoke 1, which indicates someone's smoking status. Then for the person time variable, because we're interested in looking at any CHD, we want the variable called time CHD. This is the amount of time that someone was followed from the start of the study until the development of CHD, death, loss to follow-up, or the end of the study, whichever occurred first. And then just hit OK. And we'll get this table popping up. Again, we just want to focus on this top panel here. Our first column is the exposed people. These are people who were current smokers at baseline. Our second column is the unexposed people. These are people who were non-smokers at baseline. Our first row, incident hosp MI, are the cases of CHD in this cohort. And we can see that among our smokers, there were 617 cases of CHD. Among our non-smokers, there were 623 cases of CHD. Our second row here, time years 2, shows the amount of person time of follow-up. So we can see that for smokers, there is about 39,000 person years of follow-up. And for non-smokers, there was about 41,000 person years of follow-up. Our incidence rates can be seen at the last part of this table. Right here, I have them highlighted. Our incidence rate in current smokers at baseline is 0.01556 per person year. You can multiply this by 1,000 to make it a little bit easier to interpret. And it says that there were 15.6 cases of CHD per 1,000 person years among smokers in our cohort. If we go over to the next column, we can see the incidence rate for CHD among non-smokers. So if we multiply this number by 1,000, we can see that there were 15.1 cases of CHD among non-smokers in our cohort. If we compare the two numbers, we can see that the incidence rate of CHD was higher among smokers than among non-smokers. That's it for today. Thanks, guys.